Howdy y'all, and welcome back to AMT. This is training week 3 for the triathlon that I will be running on July 24th. So in review, it was way better than training week 2. I had none of the same exhaustion, none of the same issues that I was having on training week 2. So that's good. Monday, I decided to try out ZWIFT, which is an online biking game. You hook up your bike to the program, and I'm using a speed and cadence sensor with the bike on a what's called a dumb trainer to send signals to the program, and it tells the program how fast you're going, and you can ride around in the world or race. So I logged into that for the first time, and I did the little intro workout, introduction to ZWIFT, ride around the world kind of thing. It ended up being 6.5 miles, and I did it in about 42 minutes, which was not very good. I don't know what I did wrong, but ZWIFT was not reading my power the way I think it should. I felt like I wasn't hardly moving at all. The power didn't seem to match my effort. Of course, I don't have a great frame of reference for power. I've never had a power meter on a bike. I've actually ridden outdoors, and I don't have a power meter currently. I'm currently using Z power, which is, as I said, an estimation from my speed and cadence sensor, not an actual power measurement of what I'm putting down. But it felt wrong. It did not feel good. It felt like my guy was meandering around the world despite the effort I was putting into the pedals. And it did not feel good. I did not enjoy it, and I was quite irritated having spent money on the trainer and the sensors to do it, especially considering I had looked up online several things, usually YouTube videos, how to set up ZWIFT, how to connect it and everything, and everybody said, yeah, you can use a dumb trainer with these sensors, and you won't get super accurate power, but it does an okay job of reading you. And everybody raves about ZWIFT. One of my favorite YouTubers rides ZWIFT a lot, and that's what got me to try it. So I was quite disappointed with that. And so that brings us into Tuesday. Because I was so disappointed on that, I went out and did a real bike ride on the road, like I have been doing, so that way I would have some comparison footage.
Alright guys, just got a little bit of a warm-up. Got out here to the park. About to start workout number 2 of the week. This is Tuesday. Feeling pretty good. Just getting over here to the park. New bike's a lot different. I got the drop handlebars. The shifters are back away from the handlebars a little bit, so it's going to be a lot to get used to. Center of gravity is a lot higher, so we'll work that out. Okay, so that's halfway. The wind was supposed to be what the weatherman described as breezy. Normally he says gusting or some other adjective, verb, I don't know. He's usually right, but today he said breezy, and I would say he's wrong. This bike doesn't have quite as low of a gear range as the other one. I think the rear cassette has the same number of gears. The the front cassette is minus 1 gear from the other bike, the lowest one. So fighting into this wind was really difficult. To be fair, I really only used that lowest gear was directly into the headwind and going up really bad inclines. And I figure as I get stronger, I won't need it as much. But really would have been nice to have today. But good news, I get a tailwind all the way back, baby. So that'll be nice. See y'all at the end. All right, and that's the end of the ride. Pushed pretty hard. Hope y'all saw that snake. Hope I caught it on tape. But that's gonna require a change of pants. And yeah, good hard push. We'll go compare the results to my first ZWIFT ride.
I ended up doing 6.9 miles in 34 minutes, so a significant improvement. It wasn't an amazing performance on my end, just felt pretty average for what I'm used to doing. However, I was 1 gear short. The new bike has only 2 gears on the front, whereas my old one had 3. And it's missing the lowest of the 3. So when I was shooting into the headwind, which it's always windy here, always. So I've just got to get used to riding into a headwind. But when I was going into the headwind, I was having a really hard time of it, just smoking my quads, not being able to move my feet very fast, just having to muscle through it. I'm sure as I become a stronger rider, I really won't have need for that lowest gear, but it's a little too early to call it. So we'll see how that goes. I also almost hit a giant snake. I'm sure I'll link the footage somewhere. Shit. Okay, so as I said, I was gonna get some comparison footage and make another video going over comparing the 2 rides, and honestly kind of crapping on ZWIFT a little bit. I was a little irritated with it, but I sat down to start writing that out a little bit. I got a notebook, I do bullet points. I started working on my bullet points, seeing how I was going to set up the video, and I was like, you know what, I can't try it once and then go do a video on it. That would not be fair, and it would kind of look bad on me. So I decided to drop that and try and set it up again, see if I could get it working properly. I set it up a second time, and I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know if my sensors weren't reading properly the first time, or if I didn't set up the dumb trainer correctly the first time. I'm really not sure. But the second time around, I fired it up, I hopped into the world, and it felt like I was riding a bike outside. I was pedaling and my guy was moving, and it felt completely appropriate. So that got me really excited, because all of the disappointment was completely reversed. So excited, in fact, I looked up when was the soonest race that we had going on, and it was about 20 minutes out. So I went, strapped on all my gear, got my little shorts on, made sure I had water and my fan and everything, and I started playing around on the ZWIFT, hopped into the lobby, was not paying attention to how quickly 20 minutes can go by. You can see in the video that I'm sitting there trying to type out messages, and I don't type, I chicken peck, so I'm sitting there typing out, watching the keyboard, making sure I'm typing everything out correctly, and I don't even notice there's less than a minute left before the race starts. I should be on the bike, getting my legs moving well before that, making sure that I'm not just starting out from nothing. And the speed and cadence sensor require a couple rotations to warm up and turn on, And then once they connect, it takes a little bit longer after that for ZWIFT to start reading the power properly. And then there's a few seconds delay between it starting to read power and it ramping up to where you're actually at. So it's quite a big delay. I think the beeps started to signify the race was starting. I didn't even get it when the beeps first started, and then I noticed the beeps. Hop on the bike, I start pedaling to try and turn things on. The race starts, and all of the other racers hit it hard. Just they're gone, and I'm not even moving. I'm just sitting there, not even moving. I start screaming in the video, and so then I start. I didn't give up right then. I start moving. I started trying to catch the guys in front of me, trying to catch up. Right. Well, the group strung out pretty good, so there wasn't really a big group. The first few guys may have been grouped up. I'm not sure. I couldn't see them. I couldn't even see their dots on the map. But I started pushing. I started pushing hard. So I caught up with the first guy in about 12 and a half minutes. It was hard. It was 12 and a half minutes of me just pushing. I'm dripping sweat before I even get him in sight. But after I caught him, that motivated me to start pushing for the second guy. He was 0.3 miles ahead of me. I could see on the screen, so I was like, I caught this first guy. I was on top of the world. This is my first race, and even though I messed up that bad, I caught somebody, and I am not last. So now, in my head, I'm the fastest guy on the planet, and I'm going to catch this other guy, and then I'm going to catch the one after him, and the one after him, and I'm going to win this race. So I start pushing, and I'm pushing even harder than I was before, right? 18 minutes and 40 seconds into the race, I think, to the dot, I heard a noise. It was like a knocking sound. I wasn't sure if it was my dog outside the room or what was going on, but I heard a knocking noise, and you could see it on the video. I'm looking around. At about 20 minutes, I hear the noise again. I was within 1/10 of a mile of the guy I was trying to catch. I was right on his butt. He was right around the corner, and I was ready to get him. But I heard the noise a second time, and I assumed it was somebody at the door. So I hop off the bike, I run to the door. There's nobody there. By the time I get back, I have completely lost everything I've pushed for. The first guy I passed is almost catching me, and I decided to give it up right there. It was very demotivating. After that, I realized, you know what? It's kind of late. It took me a while to get things set up. It's probably around 10 o'clock in the evening, and my trainer is not quiet. It's a magnetic trainer. It just makes this crazy whining sound, and it vibrates the hell out of the floor. I live in the top floor of a 2-story apartment building, and I did not even think about my downstairs neighbors. Very inconsiderate of me, but I think that noise was them knocking on the roof, telling me, "Hey, shut the heck up," because I was making so much noise, and it was time for most people to start winding down, if not already in bed, depending on if you're like me and like to get in bed early. It almost never works out, but I try. So I called that a day. Went to bed. Wednesday, I was supposed to go on a swim, and I didn't swim all the prior weeks. It's one of my weakest events. My technique isn't where it needs to be. So I really should have swam, but I got to the gym, I bought my pass, and I get in there, start getting changed, and I realize, oh man, I forgot my swim trunks. They're not even in the bag. I got my towel. I've even got my little trainer buoy that I bought to work some drills. And that was all it took to completely derail me, because I am just a lazy guy at heart. I was like, oh no, swim trunks. I briefly considered putting on my workout shorts and going in the pool like that, which would have worked. I could have just worn my work pants back out of there. But yeah, no, that completely derailed me. I was like, oh, that's all the excuse. I need to go home and watch Netflix. So Wednesday was a complete bust on training and completely screwed my week for swimming. Nobody's fault but this guy. So I didn't get any swimming done this week. Thursday, I had planned to do a 10-mile run.
Howdy guys, welcome back. About to start my Thursday run. Gonna try and do 10 miles. Gonna try and keep the same pace I did last time on 8 miles. About 10 minutes a mile. And give you an update about halfway through.
I missed it on training week 1. I decided I did 8 miles. I wanted to push it out further, and I wanted to do something long enough to require some nutrition so I could start trying to play around with that and figure out what works for me, what doesn't, how to do it. So I ate what at the time I was like, oh, it's a small meal. What I did was I took the calories I anticipated burning roughly for the entire run, and I cut it in half, and I decided to eat half. Just shooting in the dark. No, it wasn't a good idea. I probably should have eaten something really small. And that turned out to be too much. I got out there, started running, and I immediately regretted that. I could just feel it hanging in my stomach. And then on top of that, I took a goo gel, which is just calories for running. I have no idea how they would taste. I have no idea what how they'll affect me, because from my understanding, they're pretty much pure sugar. I should read the package, most likely. But I didn't. I was just like, let me take it and see what happens. So on top of that meal, then I take a goo, and then I start running. I wasn't feeling good. I shot a little bit of footage around mile 2, just a quick little update. I was thinking about doing a mile by mile update. Got to the beginning of the trail, hit 3 miles, and my truck was right there, and it was turn around and go back, or give up and go home. My weak voice started talking in the back of my head. Oh, just go home. You feel gross. You feel like crap. You don't want to run. And I gave in, went home. Not really coming off the best here this week. But so I did 3 miles running on Thursday. Friday, I was got off work, came back, cleaned up the apartment, and then I traveled out for the weekend. I went home for Mother's Day. Celebrated with my entire family, grandparents, immediate family. I did painting with a twist with my mother. So we did wine and painting, and thought it would be up her alley. Everybody had a pretty decent time at it. But prior to that, on Saturday, I was talking to my family about, we were trying to plan everything out, and they asked me what my plans were. I said, hey, I want to do painting with a twist, but before that, I've got to do a workout. And they're like, oh, what are you going to do for your workout? I told them, I've got this game that I played, and I told them about my experience on Tuesday. They were laughing about it, and they all thought it sounded pretty cool. So they wanted to see it. So I set it up right there in the living room at my parents' place, and the entire family came around to watch it. My grandparents even came over and watched. So my very first ZWIFT race, I had my entire family around me cheering me on. It was actually a really fun experience. My mom likes to, she's not your typical little kind-hearted mom. She's a firecracker, or I guess as some people would say, she's a pistol. You know, she's sitting there talking crap to all the other animated bikers that are around me and telling me to kick their behinds. That's a nice way to say it. So yeah, I did pretty good on that. I think I finished, I don't even remember what I finished. But it was 17 miles. I did it in 53 minutes. Pretty happy with my time. Worked really hard. I had a hard time getting off the bike. All the cheering and my brother playing some freaking jams to help motivate me and keep me from lagging. But unfortunately, y'all don't get into the audio because that's gonna put me in some copyright issues. But just know my brother can DJ a freaking bike race. And on Sunday, I closed out the week traveling back home. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video.
How'd you feel?
Tired.
You added 4 tires pretty much. I feel tired. What did you really feel?
Yeah. That was exhausting watching you. That's gross.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, Grandpa, your turn.